My name is Enoch. That's my brother James. This is the Blood Brothers Podcast. Let's go. For watching the Blood Brothers Podcast. Continue to like, subscribe, comment before we get going. Let's get this thing right. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this moment. Use us right now. Use us in this moment. We appreciate you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Talk to me, my brother.
Our mission statement will always be consistent. And as we see the culture of the world, more so than ever, we need men to become leaders in society under God's law. Consequently, men, women, and children, they'll all learn what it is to be the foundation of what a real man is supposed to be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, it's been heavy lately.
True.
And we got a lot to talk about. And it's perfect timing that we got our mics. You see, we stepping up. We trying to get y'all important topic, important quality substance. That's what we're about. And a lot is going on in the world right now. And we're not the type of podcast that's just gonna sit here and complain to you.
I like it.
So we don't just jump out and just get into it. We like to take specific angles. So today, as you know, we're always talking about character development, mental series mentality with the mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to focus on problems and solving them, not complaining.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like that.
I feel like today we're gonna speak on the main topic is the fruit of man's bear. And throughout that, we're going to be speaking on systems of the world, things that brought us to where we are now.
True.
And can get very touchy. So where do you think we should start with it?
All right. So I think in order to have pure understanding and be transparent, you have to start from the original kingdom, honestly, the most successful kingdom, honestly. You really want to get technical, God's kingdom is the only kingdom that works.
Yeah.
Now, when I speak on God's kingdom, it's just simply in a governing authority. Laws, principles that we're supposed to abide by, mainly because we're his children. That's really what it comes down to, and we're supposed to be kingdom ambassadors. So when we say judge a man by the fruit he bears, that obviously that's a scripture, but we like to make things very practical and easy to digest. And I think this is a great time. This is a great format to really just explain how civilizations work. And when I'm going to use different terminologies as far as explaining society, like civilizations, kingdom, but ultimately it's just the governing authority that rule the land. That's really what we're speaking about ultimately. So obviously when we're talking about the fruit you bear, it has a lot to do with your moral compass, right? It has to do with your mentality. What you plant in agriculture, realistically, that's what you grow. So as long as you follow the laws in agriculture, when you're planting a seed, then you'll get fruit, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing in the world. If we're planting seeds of success through healthy practices, we're going to reap the benefits of that.
Yeah.
As we see in America, things that were originated, we're seeing the fruits of that right now.
Exactly.
So America obviously was built not so much of all right, not even
corrupt.
It's corrupt, but I don't want to say it the wrong way. So it's not the systems that are per se corrupt. It's the people who are the influencers in the systems that are corrupt.
Okay.
So a great analogy would be is I don't hate guns, or guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Yeah.
Because if you hold a gun, right?
Yeah.
The gun does nothing. It's the person that's holding the gun that actually dictates what happens. And that's the same mind frame you have to take when you're looking at systems of government. It's definitely a uphill battle. And when we're talking about the seeds that were planted, you know, they say the forefathers of America, they weren't exactly pro-black. Let's just say that. Now, did they put rules in place? 100%. Have there been rules and regulations that have, you know, had suppressed detrimental repercussions on Black America? 100%. But ultimately, the problem is that the systems that are put in place and the laws, they're not technically wrong. It's just that they only focus on Black people. They only apply them to Black people. Perfect example. If you go to the projects and you see people smoking weed, right? They're gonna, I mean, yes, they're trying to legalize it now for the most part, but before you had the drug laws and then they would be in jail. But you can go to a white community and there's plenty of white boys that smoke pounds, but you don't see them getting arrested. You don't see them incarcerated because that law wasn't enforced in their community. So it goes back to the process of who is the people that are infiltrating the system and applying the laws to different communities.
You know? And I would say, like you said, the fruit that America bared is what's this uproar is right now. And it's crazy because me personally, it's almost like it was like that straw that broke the camel's back.
That's what it feels like.
Because there's something different about this one. Because how long ago? Maybe a few weeks ago, everybody found out about Ahmaud when he was running and got gunned down. I thought it would have been crazy then. But for some reason, it didn't go. It got high, but then it just like
cooled down.
Didn't get too crazy. But for some reason, this one just, it was like everybody had enough. It was like this one hit a different nerve. And from all the other murders that we've seen, because this is not the first one.
No, 100%.
We've seen it countless amount of times. And this one right here, I feel like this is going to be the one that changed. And this is going to sound crazy because we're talking about the fruit you bear. I feel like the murder of George Floyd is, in a sense, the fruit of it might come something good.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I hate to say he had to die, but it's almost like now his death is not in vain.
100% not.
Because I'm going to be honest. In the beginning of it, everybody was a little crazy, the looting and stuff like that. But after that died down, I saw a unity that I've never seen before. I've seen marches where it's not just Black people. It's a lot of speaking out white people. And it's like, and throughout the week, because I've just been watching, I ain't really been talking about it. I'm just like, watch. I like to observe. And oh my gosh, today I saw a video of people. Well, I don't live in New York anymore. I live in North Carolina. I'm in the South. People in Uniondale, they were out there cleaning the streets. I saw it today. I was like, that's where it starts. That's the change right there. They're going into the hoods and cleaning around. I think there was in Hempstead, there was Union. I'm like, and nobody told them to do it. They just got themselves together to do it. And I'm like, wow, this is what it takes for us to continue to move forward. Because like you said, systems. Now we want a seat at the table, basically, is what we're trying to say. That's what everybody's pretty much protesting for. We can't stop what we're doing. What we're doing is so important because now when you get a seat, how do you carry yourself? Your character is so important because now you can get there and you can just crash and burn again. So when we get to those places, we got to make sure our mind is right. Our mentality is on point. We talk about cheating on your wives. That plays a part. Because if we have broken homes, getting into those places, it's already cracked. That's why we have to continue doing what we do. That's why everybody do your part. Not everybody's a protester. Not everybody's out there social media. You got to do your part that can impact your surrounding. And I feel like what we're doing now is very important. Like I've dealt with police and it's really not good. I can get into that if we want, but I feel like this is important so that we continue to move in this direction because I'm going to be honest, this could be a shift in history that we've never seen in our lifetime because they're still going. Usually it stops by now. It's still going.
It's going to be once once the conviction is final, because I mean, we've seen people get killed
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
camera and walk.
Yeah.
So obviously, it has to be a full part series where it completes the process. They have to
Exactly.
they need to be convicted. Point blank,
Exactly.
period. They need to be
Yeah.
convicted. Now, when we're talking about evolution and evolving and uplifting our community, it's a two-step process, right? You have the conversation, and then next is the action.
Action.
So this is I'll give you guys a little breakdown on civilizations. So when we're talking about the world, don't think of the earth. Think of systems of influence. So there are about 12 system influences that you really have to pay attention to. So the first one I'm going to give you guys is the political system. Political system is not the government. The political system are the people who are trying to get a seat at the table. Now, the government, that's actually the process that governs the land. Two different things, right? So next, you have legislation that addresses law. That's super important because if they're implementing laws that go against, number one, the kingdom of God and his laws, our system is going to fail regardless. You can't go against the creator's laws.
Yeah.
So that's rule number one, and that governs your lifestyle. Next is economics. If you think about it, the economic process, how many people don't get approved for small business loans? Think about the red line areas. Think about how they don't approve certain nationalities, mainly black, for finances for small businesses to build, this wealth that we want to, this generational wealth that we want. Next, you have culture. That includes civic societies, that's music, that's the way we live together in our community. Next, after that, you have your social life. Now, this is when you're talking about how the music and how the culture is infiltrating your mind. It's your social life, your social surroundings with the people that you're around. Now you have arts. That's another one. Arts, it dictates to your visual. That's what you have to pay. It dictates to your visual. Artists are beautiful. People that can paint, those kind of things. It's amazing. If you think about what's the most probably the most famous painting is what the 12 disciples
Picasso
or like 12 when he painted the 12 disciples.
12 disciples.
That actually dictated to how you viewed what Jesus looked like.
Yeah.
Right. He painted a white man as Jesus, and that has been a consistent thing throughout generations.
Exactly.
But that's how influential you're looking at art. That's how influential it is.
And he's not even white. That's the crazy thing.
That's the crazy thing.
Impacted so much.
And people will look at Jesus and go, oh, he's white. Not realizing that if you even look at it, there's no such thing as the Middle East. That's South Africa. There's no such thing. And if you want to say that, look at Middle Eastern people. They're brown.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But that's a whole nother conversation, bro.
We're not even going to go.
But besides that, then you have education. The reason why education is so important, right? Because education is what gives you opportunities. We speak about this all the time.
Yeah.
It's not so much of the knowing, trigonometry. We're not talking about that. We're talking about identifying your gift, your area of gifting inside of you. God placed everybody with a gift inside of them to be successful. Now you have to know how to make that a business. And that's where you're going to get financial freedom, right? That education process that's why it's important. And yes, you do need the foundation of education, reading, writing, math, basic math, things like that, 100%. But unless you're going to some kind of architect, there's certain things that really don't apply that they're judging low income neighborhoods on. It's just the reality of it. Then you have the medical. I mean, listen, the medical system, obviously you guys see how influential it is. We're walking around with masks on. We're walking around with masks on, telling that's going to help. But truth of the matter is, you have to remember, the medical system, the law system, all of these systems, they're still practicing. Why do you think they say doctors are practicing?
Practice.
Or why do you think they're practicing? Think about what practicing means. It means that I'm not perfect and I don't know. So realistically, a lot of times the doctors don't really know what's going on with you. Even lawyers, listen, I went to court. I've seen what it is to go through a custody battle. These lawyers, you'll be surprised. A lot of times they don't know. So this is why you have to make yourself knowledgeable in certain areas. Not saying that all lawyers are bad. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is don't lean so heavily on these people without seeking your own knowledge to meet them halfway, at least. So that way you're not oblivious to it. Then the last two, and these are pretty big too. Well, we got business, and that obviously deals with our local businesses, our global businesses, and how we conduct ourselves. and how we don't have an opportunity to expand when you do have a business. They keep you at a certain plateau. And these two are probably the biggest ones right now is sports. Obviously, I look at the African American community, and majority of them, it's just they want their kids to succeed in sports. And I get it. I get it. You know what I mean? I respect it. But at the end of the day, it's a point-something% chance that any kid goes and becomes a pro athlete. But best believe they can become a doctor, they can become a lawyer, they become an engineer. And if you groom them the right way,
that's how we make change.
If you groom them the right way, right, they'll infiltrate these systems with the right mentality.
Exactly.
And the last one, and I think this is a very big one too, is the religious system. You're dealing with a lot of religious leaders that say certain things, and and it's like pray and everything's gonna be okay. Listen, I'm not saying don't pray. I'm not saying Jesus is not the answer, because the truth of the matter is he is the answer.
Facts.
But it's praying in works. You have to put the work in. I can't come to Christ ignorantly and not know what I'm talking about. It's just, oh, can you fix this? He's not a genie. Okay.
Yeah.
He's not a genie. He's not a rub. Oh, all right, everything is good now. No. You actually have to make yourself knowledgeable. Do your part, and he will do the rest for you.
Exactly.
This is our part. We're saying that we wanted to do a podcast, and we believe in it, and we believe it's going to be as big as our minds and our imagination can go. But we're also trusting God to guide us in the right steps. But ultimately, we're meeting him in the middle. We're learning his laws. We're obeying his laws. We're giving him credit where credit is due.
Exactly.
And truth of the matter, these systems is what influences the governments of the world, right? Each one. So if we have people who have high moral standards that are running these systems, then and only then is when you're going to see a true change in the world. And I'm not saying that it's all black people. I'm not saying it's all white people. It just has to be a consistent thought process of, listen, there's only one system that has stood the test of time. Only one. Every empire has fell. You can't name an empire that has not fallen yet. The kingdom of God is the only empire that has lasted throughout eternity. So maybe we need to start seeking those laws and applying those laws to our system. You'll be surprised how practical the Bible really is.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That I'm gonna talk about the fruit we bear in a little bit, because we got to make it real practical. Like, because I know a lot of times we say like, we talking, who are we? But we're following the steps of God, and the fruits we have bear it. And one thing I want to talk about is the people coming together, what it actually looks like. You had an example in Tulsa. You had an example of what they did when they came together. Now, I'm going to give you some stats of Black Wall Street, if you haven't heard of it, in Tulsa,
Black
Oklahoma.
Wall Street is tough.
Man. When I read it now, it's like, just imagine if we had that now. And this was 1908. Let me read these stats for you. It was founded in 1908 and destroyed in 1921. That's how powerful it was. They had 600 businesses, 21 churches, 21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters, 6 private airlines, plus a hospital, a bank, a post office, law offices, and even bus systems.
Wow.
So what they did, they used the system in their favor. They went out there, and this is what we have to do as people. We can't just ask for a seat and then don't know what to do. We have a blueprint on what they did. So it's possible. So we can't say like, we'll never, it's possible. If we take the steps to continue to educate ourselves in how we get a business. How we get, like, how you've been doing so much research on getting LLC to get some real estate. I'm saying we're educating ourselves. That's where we at. We trying to have our own Black Wall Street.
Facts.
That's what we on. Like, my brother right here, he started Genesis program for kids. Man, this program is amazing. Single-handedly with him and his wife. When I say single-handedly, obviously God is the forefront. One thing you got to know about us, before God is before anything.
Period.
So
That's
if we
one of the
say
questions.
God.
I named it after his first book.
Yeah. So don't ever think we glorifying ourselves when we saying our accomplishment, or because we both are successful in our own right.
Facts.
And where we are right now.
Facts.
You know, he
Facts.
started a program called Genesis. I've seen kids growing. I remember I walked in one program. I just see a bunch of kids learning basketball, but it's deeper than basketball. You can feel it when you walk in the room.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that it's deeper than that because of his heart. Most people, camps is about the money. He's doing something for the community. And I really wish everybody, if you're from Uniondale, Long Island, look up Genesis program because it's beautiful. I love seeing those kids. And you care for those kids so much.
I do.
What you're doing is going to lead them to be the change.
Yeah.
Like, you doing your thing. You drive a nice car. You're a black man. You got a beautiful wife. You got 2 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, you doing your thing. This is the fruit you bearing right now. You in school. I'm going to have to give y'all some background because we don't really talk about what we're doing. This man right here is going for his master's right now. We got to brag on each other a little bit. I'm about to brag on myself too because God has done so much for us, and we need to let y'all know because we the type that even though we know it's not bragging, we don't want to talk about it because we just integrity, we just don't feel right. But sometimes we got to do it just so that y'all can see the fruit we bearing, what God has placed on us. Like me, I'm married. I got a wife, 2 kids. All of this stuff that been going on, and I have no choice but to have joy. I just signed a house this week. We just signed for our first house this week. Like I don't want to go on social media and brag about it because God gave it to me and it's just like it's precious to me.
It's humbling.
Here's the thing. It's very humbling. It's very humbling. We got a house in the time of crisis right now. And it's a bitter, beautiful thing right now. You know, and here's the great thing about it. I'm not comfortable that we just got a house.
Facts.
Because my parents, they from Haiti. They moved to New York, Brooklyn. I was born in Brooklyn. They moved to Long Island. And they set a standard to where they had a house. So in my mind, okay, I have to have a house. Now, I can't leave the same thing, the same mindset for my kids. So my mindset is, okay, now I got to get more property. When I get another property, that's when I'm like, all right, now we moving. Me and you, we going into business right now. You looking in LLCs. We starting an investment group.
Shouts out to the homies.
You know what I mean? Shout out to the homies. We building an investment group. Things like that. That's how you move forward in culture and life and these systems. We're not going to let these systems control us because we in the world, but we ain't of it.
Facts.
We live through God.
Facts.
He guides our steps.
That's a fact. And
this is why I'm taking this moment to present to y'all our fruits. Because oftentimes you just hear, pray about it. You know, just go to church. We're not against none of those things, but there has to be a practicality side to it.
It has to be.
It has to be. And we are bearing those fruits. So in where we are in life right now, we are both successful. I don't care.
Very much so.
We are just successful as we could be. And we continue to keep growing to our next success. We doing this starting this podcast was a success to us.
100%. 50 views.
50 views. All we wanted was like, yo, at least get 50 views. I don't even care. As long as somebody watching this, if somebody's going to grow from this, cool. But we getting more views. And we're going to continue to do this because we have to show our fruit. It's the only way.
No, that's
we overcome by testimony.
No, that's 100% true. And even more so than that, like, obviously we created this podcast and this is our first episode where we're actually going to put on a public stage, Apple Music. What was the other group?
iTunes, all of that.
You know, this is our first one, and that we want to get on a public stage and really present ourselves as not a force to be reckoned with, but kingdom ambassadors. That's it, right? So we don't want to be categorized as Christian speakers or some type of religious. Nah, listen, at the end of the day, God is the center of all of this.
Facts.
I give him the credit for all of this, right?
Yeah.
And we operate under his laws because those are the only ones that work.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes. Those are the
Yeah.
only ones that work. And I think what we need to keep in mind as we progress and you know, like I said, you are, of course, we're doing a lot of things, but the ultimate reason why we're successful is because of our agenda. That's what it is. See, when you're looking at systems of government, right? Remember, every system has an agenda. That's the difference. So if you want to know, like they'll talk about the whole Nipsey Hussle thing, right? With Dr. Sebi and all that. And they might not want to get into conspiracy theories, whatever the case may be, but just understand the medical system has an agenda, right?
That's a fact.
And anything that's going to compromise someone's agenda, especially when it's personal capital behind it, you're going to have to go to war.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, this is why we're talking about character so and morals so delicately, so efficient, because if your agenda is against God's will, you will fall. That's the difference. And listen, it might seem like, you know, we looking at all of these systems, it might seem like these people are super successful. It depends what you consider success. If you're talking about financials, financial, increases is a success. Okay, cool. I guess they're successful in your perspective of what success is. But success to us is simply just being happy. Like, we have real joy in our lives.
Yes.
And it's not a joke. I don't remember the last time I looked at my bank account. I honestly, I really don't. And it's not to be arrogant. It's just because at the end of the day, I just know God is going to cover me.
Exactly.
But it's not because I'm praying. It's not because I'm just saying it. It's because my actions align with his will. When you're in his kingdom, he covers you. He protects you. He provides ways.
Talk that talk.
And that's what we're talking about. So my goal, even with the Genesis program, you see all of these systems that I just spoke about. The mission behind the Genesis program, I start off with sports because I know that's a unifying factor.
Yeah.
Sports is it's bicultural. It's for female and male. It's just a very unifying action, if that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
So when I took on the thought, because remember, everything that happens, it happens because of a thought. It's just that a lot of times people are scared to act on their thoughts.
Yeah.
So when I took on the thought process of, okay, I want to create Genesis, sports was a small part of it. Next, we're going to get a building. This is why I have an investment group with people that you're close with and that you can unify and build together. This is what it's about. Community.
Yep.
I'll give you an example, right? I had spoke to one of the parents about buying a building. She offered to invest in the building. She offered. I didn't say a word. I'm not going to put a name out there, but shouts out to you. But she offered. We weren't expecting nothing like that. Now, in the building.
And it's not because of you getting a building. It's because of what? Your character.
It's the character. And not even more than that, I explained the agenda. So every system that I just spoke about, right? The purpose of the building is to have a facility aside that is going to address every system. So we're going to build kids up through systematic change. So they're going to be able to identify their gift, and we're going to apply it to the system that we have in place where they can succeed in that area. So we're not going to knock kids who are brainiacs that are just so smart that school seems boring to them. No, what we're going to do is say, okay, well, you're very smart. Let's see what you can do with law. If you can create laws, what would you want to create? Let's hear what you have to say about that. You never know. That child might excel in law. There's your future lawyer right there. That's the kind of thing you have to do. Start building them young. Because when you do that, it allows them to continue throughout their adulthood. Like, yo, I got the foundation I needed. I got the support I needed. I got the confidence I needed. And ultimately, the agenda is just to be there for the kids to help them achieve their God-given ability. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I think why we struggle with the systems that are not even the systems, I can't even say that. Why we struggle as African Americans in America is just we lack the knowledge to operate in the systems.
Yeah.
And I the more I think about it, is the more I understand when God was like, my people will perish. Not just saying black people, but just my people will perish over lack of knowledge, because there are ways to operate through the system that will be for your success. Now, it's up to you to have the moral stability to never let the success change your character. And this is why we keep talking about mentality. This is why we keep talking about being a righteous man and having these, these principles align with your character. So that way, even if somebody tries to challenge you, if somebody wants to talk bad about you, to somebody that knows you, they're gonna be like, that's impossible. There's no way that they can do that. I know him. I know his character. And it, like I said, it's just one of these things where it's sad to see that all of our people are just being slaughtered like that. That's a sad thought. Like, I'm a black man. You don't think I worry about if I get pulled over by the cops? You don't think I got 2 black sons? You don't think I worry about them growing up in a society like this? No, 100% true. But what I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna use that as an excuse to not continue to evolve and educate myself. It's not by accident that there's a systematic distraction or this chaos. It's not by accident. The majority of the times when things like this happen, there's something that's behind it. You have to pay attention to not only what's going on, but what's the agenda behind it. It's not just killing black people. That's not it. They know that's going to cause the ruckus that they need to conduct something else. So you have to be double-sided with it. You got to know, like, okay, this is going on, but let me pay attention, because systematically they could be trying to change something so drastically, and we don't have any participation in it. I seen somebody put on Instagram, they said, isn't it ironic about the Blackout Tuesday that they were talking about? That was the same day to vote in certain states.
Wow.
I was like, but this is what I'm talking about. And I'm not opposed to voting. All I'm saying is this. Remember this. And I learned this the other day. You have a left wing, you have a right wing, right? One bird. The bird represents the system. Whether you're on the left or you're on the right, you're still a part of that system. So you can say, okay, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican. Okay, fine. That's great. But guess what? It's
still on the same bird.
It's the same bird.
Wow.
It's the same system.
Wow.
And the people that are on the left or the right, if their characters are not in place, doesn't matter who you vote for. That system is not going to change. Like you said, it's up to you to create a black Wall Street. And that's the kind of unification that I want to see.
Really. You know, it's crazy. Like, I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but still, I think systematically, if I see lights behind me, my heart skips.
OD.
And I hate that. And I was thinking about my son, right? I don't want to get emotional. I was thinking about my son, right? Like, how would I feel knowing that he's out there and could get pulled over and not know what happened? And I got some hope this week, because this was kind of breaking me up this week. I got some hope because I'm like, when I saw a lot of those white kids walking with black people, it's like those kids will eventually become police officers. So the ones that are in there right now, we have to deal with them. But there's another generation of white men and women that I feel won't have the same mentality as the forefathers. Because I'm watching, I'm seeing the unity with the black and the white people. And it's like, this is what we need. Our kids may have a chance to grow up in a world where racism isn't the forefront. Like, I've been pulled over and the cop asked me, where you going? I'm saying, I'm going to work. Where you work? This time I remember I was working at FedEx at one time. He was like, oh yeah? He looked at my car. He was like, all right, by the way, nice car. And I'm just like, bruh, just because I'm good with my money, don't look at me like I'm doing something wrong. And there's been times where I got pulled over by the same cop within 10 minutes because he thought it was another black person driving another nice car. And I literally like, yo, bro, you just stopped me. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And it's like, we shouldn't have to deal with that, but we do. And I pray all the time that by the time my child is older, we'll be in a position where we can almost override that. Like, it won't even be able to touch us, you know? And that's why we have to continue to push forward. Like, I love what I'm seeing right now. It's peaceful protest. Like, I'm not with the saying F the police and all that, because that's just not our language, but I get it. But I just continue to keep putting ourselves in position to where our children won't have to deal with the same things we had to.
No, that should be the goal for every community and every parent. And this is like what you just said, as far as this just shows how the system has trained our minds.
Yeah.
Right? Because you said something and you didn't even realize you said it, right? You said, you know, you see the white people walking with the black people, right? But you automatically associated cops with white people.
I know.
That's a systematic training. See, and I think that's where I get caught, because I'm not faulting you for it, because I get it. I get it. But being trained by these influencers that run the system, you automatically associate a color with the position.
Exactly.
And that's where the problem, like, you got the president of the United States, white, black, white. I can't say black again, right? So when you think of a president, what do you think of? You think of a white man. When you think of a cop, what do you think of? You think of a white man. Unless you're talking about, okay, they're gonna put city cops. Okay, all right, fine. There's more diversity there. But please believe they put the African American cops that are in the city, they're in the projects. They're in the worst parts of the boroughs, right? Governing their own people. I'm not gonna say that's a recipe for disaster per se, but it's like this. If I'm from an impoverished neighborhood and you come onto my territory trying to govern me, you know nothing about what I go through. Take your badge and go about your life. I don't really want to hear from you. So now you look at situations and system. This is where systematic racism comes in. It's not so much of individual racism that is affected. Yes, individual racism affects on a personal level when we see murders, cops, they got too much power. They're able to do what they want. That's where you'll see a little bit more racism personal. Systematic racism is it's magnified 35% more, because look, if I put 100 people in one building, right? And they're crushed up and they have low income, what is it? It's public housing, right?
Public housing.
So the rent is dirt cheap. So that means obviously financially you're struggling. I'm pretty sure the school district is just as bad. You have the cops over there promoting laws, right? Which the laws aren't bad, but guess what? Those cops are only promoting those laws in those impoverished neighborhoods. So now you're entering them into a criminal justice system, right? So they're going from a poverty-stricken system to a criminal justice system, both governed by corrupt individuals. But then you tell them, yo, there's hope. No, you're setting them up to fail. This is why, even with programs, and I don't think Uniondale is the ghetto by any, honestly, Long Island as a whole, I'm not saying that it's perfect. For the most part, it's not the gutter. You know what I'm saying? It's not the gutter. It's not the bottom of the barrel. And what bothers me the most is that I look at people in the city and I feel more for them, because
that's true.
They're caught up in the system to a point where there's almost no coming back. You're growing up. You're growing up in a culture that promotes poverty, jail, and death.
And it's crazy because I've heard this before. A white person was saying, why do they why are they in drugs and gangs and stuff like that? Don't they know better? And then it was like, just imagine if you grew up there. Like, why don't you know about it? Because you don't have that in your face 24/7. So the way that you grew up knowing, like, oh, my mom went to college, my brother went to college, I go to college. But you have a brother that's all, my dad went to jail, my cousin went to jail, my uncle went to jail, my brother went to jail. I'm probably gonna end up in jail. So you can't, at the end of the day, we all have decisions to make.
100%.
We all have decisions, but you're more subjected to that route than a better route.
100%. Because of the system, and that's where systematic redlining is simply a line that's placed where they know it's going to be the ghetto here and it's going to be the suburbs there. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Banks use it to approve people for loans, and they also use it to structure school districts. Long Island, I will say this: Long Island is the most segregated island. Period. It's probably one of the most racist islands. Period. It is what it is. We're separated by towns. If put it like this, why is it that you can have a Hempstead school district shot, state taken over, right? But you can step 1 foot over and be in Garden City, where one of the best school districts in America are.
Literally, like you be in Hempstead is broken down. Literally, as soon as you, not even a block, all you see is a bunch of trees, and it's like, where the heck am I?
It's one step. So it goes back to, I'm not opposed to change, but you have to understand and you have to be knowledgeable where the change needs to happen. The system itself, if we get to the root of the system and the purpose of it, it's not bad. Right? The system. I'm talking about the system. I'm not talking about the people who influence the system. And I'm not talking about, like, for example, I don't want to get confused. So when we're talking about redlining, that's not technically a part of the system of government. That's something that banks identified. Yes, they use the government process to identify it, but they're using it in ill manner or ill intent. Right? Granted, there should never be a red line that crosses anything. Everybody should have equal opportunity. And that's where I understand where they're like, listen, we just want to be governed the same way the white man is governed. Understood. I want to be able to get pulled over and listen, I want to know why I'm being pulled over.
Exactly.
Simple.
Exactly.
Just tell me why I'm being pulled over and don't kill me.
We're not allowed to ask why.
I shouldn't think that. But I'll watch a white man get pulled over like, dude, why are you pulling me over? What did I do? You know, you a-hole or whatever they be saying. You know, like,
we can't do that. There's no way.
But it goes back to look, if you create a system or you infiltrate the systems that are already created, I would break systems down to this, right? I mean, I'm going through this in my process right now, like with my final. It's like this. I break systems down and I apply governing systems that God applied to the kingdom, and I measure them through the systems that are working or that they're infiltrating in our current society. And I compare the two, right? If the system so I wrote the system down. If any of these systems don't align with the systems of the kingdom, we do away with them. Because they don't work. Those are man-made systems. Right? When God condemned the world, he condemned the systems of the world. That should resonate. So you're saying that something is wrong with the systems. So how can we adjust the system? The only way to adjust a system is to look what is the influence behind the system. What is the agenda behind the system? Once you get that, now it's like, okay, so your purpose of this was to hold a black man down, right? This is what you made the drug law purposely designed to incarcerate black men. All right, now we get it. All right, listen, this is what we're gonna do. That specific law right there, either abolish it or apply it to every community in America, because I can guarantee you there are plenty of communities that are white, that are, listen, Jewish communities too, that they smoke pounds of weed. pounds. Right? And no, nobody say nothing about them, but best believe they quick to run into the projects. Oh, they got caught with an ounce, they got caught with whatever. I really don't know the measurements, forgive me, but whatever. You know, so it's the same thing. So you have to, once you start talking and you build the conversation, you have to already know your agenda, because at the end of the day, when you bring it to the forefront, right, and you get all these people rallied behind you, you better have the right information, and you better be able to lead them in the right direction. Exactly. That's like me saying, yo, I want everybody to join Genesis, and then everybody shows up to the gym, and I'm like, I'm just trying to figure this thing out.
You don't know.
Yo, y'all run around
basketball a little bit.
Yeah, y'all run around. Like figure it out. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get it. I'm coming along. It's the same thing. You have to strategize, and I'm grateful for all the protesting, and that was the communication aspect of it. Yeah. Now you have to learn the systems. You have to know how they work. Yeah. And truth of the matter is, listen, I'm not a religious man. I'm really not. Yeah. I speak about the Bible, but I'm what you call a godly man. I care about God and His will. Okay? That's it. I don't care about nothing. I don't care about what none of these preachers are saying. I don't care about what none of the political people are saying. Yeah. I don't care. I look at the Constitution of Heaven, which is the Bible. I apply it to the systems. Yeah. If that system that they're trying to implement is not aligned with God's system, I don't want nothing to do with it. And I have no problem speaking on it. Yeah. So it leads us to the question, right? After all of this is done. Yeah. Right? What are we going to do?
Wait and see. We got to wait and see. What are
we going to do?
We got to wait and see. I wrote something down a while back. I was just thinking one day. This was probably like months ago. I just wrote it down like maybe I'll look into this. I said, the reason the world can't reach its purpose is because of sin, obviously, but mainly the fact that the systems of the world teaches us to work a job when we need to learn to work out gifts. I wrote that down. I was thinking about, I'm like, we're just taught to work. That's it.
5 retire.
That's it. But what worked in Tulsa was everybody being in their gifts and working what they can do. If we can do that, if we use what God's given us, we'll be fine. Like, that's my faith in God is the main reason why I'm not worried about the world right now.
Feel you on that.
Because that's why, like, how you say, I listen to these pastors, a lot of the pastors sound defeated, and that bothers me.
Especially as a leader.
Yeah, that bothers me a lot when I see pastors, because a lot of people follow them. And this is not a bashing on pastors, because they're called, this is what they're supposed to do, but of course they're human. But if you have faith in God, you should know, even if you're super religious and you're down, you should, that famous quote, all things work for good of those who love the Lord according to His purpose. Why doesn't that apply now? Because it's hectic out there. You should know it's gonna get hectic. You should know we battle is a battle of spirits. You should know that it's about the kingdom of darkness versus the kingdom of God.
Light. Like, hello.
You should know that. So this should surprise you. Like, when I saw it going on, it was crazy, but it wasn't like a super surprise.
No, I feel you. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh my God, this caught me off guard. You know what I'm saying? Because like nothing catches God off guard.
Nothing.
If you're aligned with Him, you should know, like, yeah, this is crazy.
It is. It's crazy.
It's crazy, but it's not like I don't know what to do with the world.
Just pray.
Like, I don't know what to do. Let's panic. No, I'm still a good man's steps are ordered by the Lord. So I'm going to continue to seek Him. Period. Period. And I believe things will change. It's not going to be perfect. So if you think it's going to be perfect, get ready to see failure.
Yes.
Because it's never going to be perfect. We're in a dark world.
Very true.
So it will never be perfect. It can be better. So seek better. Don't seek perfection.
Baby steps. Little baby steps. Singles, run. Single, run. And I'm glad you said that too, because I both of us, we grew up in church. So
yeah.
I mean, our perspectives are very similar.
Yeah.
But we have our different perspectives too, obviously.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So for me, I just adopted a philosophy where I'm like, look, I just want God.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you didn't, but just saying in the sense of like, I don't really feel the need. Like, I don't go to church. I don't prescribe to a pastor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have faith in any leaders.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Not just pastors.
Yeah.
Just leaders, period. People claiming to be in leadership. I have very little faith in them. And I'll tell you this, and this is the main reason why. Because it goes back to what we just said. Judge a man by his fruit.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm a person of influence, I have wealth.
Yeah.
I have opportunity. Right? Black Wall Street should have been happened.
That is true. That is true.
If you're making millions and millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
But you're still speaking the same language as, let's say, a politician. So let's say you're a pastor of a mega church and you have millions of dollars, right? Well-renowned author, producer, singers, all these people, right? Why haven't you guys came together, united, which me and you and the homies is doing right now, right?
Yeah. If we could do it, why can't y'all?
Exactly. And created an outlet or counterculture that was a reflection of the kingdom.
Yep.
And overthrow, I don't want to say overthrow, just infiltrate the system that has plagued us. I don't understand that.
Yeah, that's true.
The only conclusion I can come up with when it comes to religious and political leaders that they don't do it is because you know that you benefit from this corrupt system. And because you know that, you know if you change it, you have a possibility to lose power and influence.
Are you talking about?
I could really get to the point of it is like this. When they said in the Bible, what was the rich man? Right? I forgot his name. I forgot. You know what I'm talking about? All right. He came to God or Jesus.
Yeah. And he came to Jesus asking, what can I do? Yeah, how do I enter the kingdom?
He said, get rid of all your riches.
Yeah.
Right? People take that as, they'll use that as a terminology. It's like, see, this is why you got to tithe. This is why you got to. No, that's not why he said it. You have to understand the context of what he was speaking on. The man gained his riches from a corrupt system.
Exactly.
So get rid of your corrupt system, the riches you obtain from it, give it away, start fresh with me, and be saved.
Yeah, he couldn't do it.
That's where it came from, the analogy of being saved.
Yeah.
He said the price was too high. Now, when I look at the political and religious leaders now, right, and y'all have all these mega millions, why is it that you are still struggling with that process? It's hard for me to understand, because I'm going to be honest, if I had that much money, the system, honestly, think about it. If we put our core group together, that we're doing our investment group right now, and we all have that amount of money, bro,
it'd be over. It'd be over.
Every state would have a Genesis program.
It'd be over.
But that's my point. The agenda, the mentality, they don't want to say it, but guess what? The fruits of your labor is showing. Your actions is proving what we know. It's not, you don't have to say it. I know it. I'm watching what you're doing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm watching it. Hands on. I'm watching. Like, oh, okay. All right, that's good. I'm glad you could sing that gospel song. Oh, that's a great message, bro. That's a great message. And just to let you know, you use that word that you use, it's in the wrong context. If you take it down in Greek, that's not even what it means. But listen, what do I know? I'm not even gonna get into that. It's a whole nother conversation. But
you feel good leaving church and don't even remember what was happening.
Yeah, like, ooh, good thing I don't remember what he said, because he was wrong. He didn't even know what he was talking about. But on a serious note, though, it's like I said, actions, that's gonna be the judgment, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna be the ultimate, the goal. That has to be the goal. That our actions create the influences in the system that will propel us to heavenly mind frames, to kingdom dominion, to ruling the land that God gave us. And not ruling over people. Ruling in your area of gifting,
becoming who you're supposed to be.
Exactly.
And there's where you'll see true success.
Yeah.
Brothers won't be jealous of each other.
Exactly.
Women won't be jealous like, oh, like, yo, that's your
Exactly.
thing? Boy, I got my thing too. We both sitting on our thrones. Hey,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
That's why character building, all of that is so important. Like even this the last thing about the racism thing. Like, of course, white people are gonna say, well, black people killing each other. Cool. We're gonna address that. We gotta handle that. We know that's an issue. We're gonna handle that. But let's get this first. Then we can continue to keep taking the steps. Like, all right, in our communities, we gotta look out for each other. We gotta stop killing each other.
Yeah.
That's obviously yes, we know it's an issue.
We know.
But relax, stay over there. Don't tell us. We know that. Let's handle why you hate us because of something we did not make. We were born this way.
That's a fact.
We did not just say, hey, yo, God, when I get born, make sure my skin brown, make sure I'm black. We didn't choose. Like, how it just baffles me. How can you not like me for something I did not choose? Think about that. That's like saying, yo, they got lips. We don't like them. What? I didn't make this. I could get it. You say, like, the way something that he choose to do, the way he walk, or the way he dress.
He sag his pants.
He sag his pants. That's why I don't like him. Cool. All right. That's your opinion. But because of my skin? Come on, man. Come on. Ignorance at its finest.
That's true, man. That's true. And like I said, it's just, I just hope everybody took what the message we were trying to get across.
Yeah.
It wasn't to bash anybody. It wasn't to under magnify what's going on. That's not it. That's really not it. We're hurt just as much as everybody else. Right. We're concerned just as much as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Concerned in the sense of we want change.
Yeah.
And we're gonna take the necessary steps to create.
Yeah, we're gonna do our part.
We're gonna do our part.
Yeah.
Never worry to the point that I'll question my faith, question God.
Facts.
I'm not doing that. I trust him.
Yep.
And
period.
At the end of the day, we have to hold ourselves to a certain standard that meets his standards.
Yep.
Once we start evolving mentally, one by one, then you'll see more families together, which will build a bigger community.
Exactly.
And the community will build the town, and then that town will build the city.
Yep.
And that city is gonna build the state.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll slowly start to see the kingdom really spreading. And this is what we want. This is thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Period.
On earth as it is in heaven.
Talk that talk.
Come on, son.
Talk that talk. We
Come
don't got
on,
nothing to say. Talk that
talk.
talk.
We gave y'all a pass today. We didn't talk about cheating and how you look like a clown playing your family. So y'all could watch this. Oh, one thing I have to think about. I think a lot of females want their man to watch this, but they don't know how to tell them without looking like, yo, you trying to say, I'm gonna give y'all a trick. Ladies, this is what y'all do. Be like, yo, somebody just sent me this podcast. These dudes, yo, you know these dudes, they look familiar. They be like, yo, watch this podcast. I don't know what they're talking about, but they look familiar. You know them? And then tell them play it, and then he's gonna be looking. Oh, no, I don't know them. But it's good, man. Let's watch it together.
Watch it together. That's how you do it.
Get man into watching the podcast with you.
Fact. Just like us watching.
I mean,
let's definitely watch it together. You know.
Yeah.
And don't look at him funny. Just keep your composure.
Or matter of fact, because we have one of the podcasts where we went in on ladies and how y'all got to carry yourself better. Tell him, be like, yo, babe, these guys, they talking about women out here looking crazy. Watch this podcast. Mm-hmm. Then he gonna watch it. We're gonna see how we gonna hit him like, yo, bro, you need to marry your girl. He's like, oh!
The swindle. Nah, but on the real, listen.
Yeah.
This is our first public podcast.
Yeah.
I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Yeah, we official out here in these streets.
You know what I mean? You see the mics. You know what I mean?
We stepping up out here in these streets. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Like, we not one of those people, like, if you criticize us or critique us, we understand. We want that. We want to be able to grow and see what y'all see. Like, cause we'll take what you say in consideration. Cause we not them people like, yo, they hating. Like, why they saying that? They hating. I would feel more so like you're hating if you don't tell us if you see something wrong.
Yeah, that's a fact. No, I agree.
I mean,
like,
if
yo,
you
they
see
look-
something that you know is like, yo, y'all kind of messed up, right? Then
yeah,
I feel like you're hating if you don't tell us.
that's a fact. That's a fact. We like the comments. But
Yeah,
listen, for people who don't know us,
yeah,
you know, and listen to us for the first time, just go on our YouTube page.
yeah,
It's the Blood Brothers Production,
yeah,
capital B and capital P.
yeah. Instagram is TBB podcast _
Yeah, check us out, man.
TBB podcast _ Make sure you put the underscore.
Yeah, because it won't go through. But
Facts.
listen, it was a great episode, bro.
Yeah,
you
it's a
know, I
great
appreciate
conversation.
you.
We
We
went
wasn't
our
sure.
best.
We
This
wasn't
one our
sure.
best. We was real touchy. We was like, yo, you sure you want to
It's a fact.
touchy subject?
But you know, I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
We put a lot of thought into it. Obviously, we put a lot of
Yeah.
thought into everything we talk about, but this one
Yeah.
specifically, just because I didn't want it to be, and obviously, he didn't want it to be a situation where we were just complaining. We wanted you guys to understand how civilizations operate, and if we're gonna make the change that everybody's calling for, these are the areas that we all have to infiltrate. And if your characters pop and you know and you're not worth that the leadership role, then ignore us. But if you feel like you worth it and you want to make a change and you feel like you can infiltrate some of these systems that have influence, and we rooting for you because we definitely coming.
Oh yeah, believe that. We're not stopping. We're not stopping.
Every system that we spoke about, we want a part of. So
yep.
You know, but
fact.
Other than that, you want to leave with anything, bro?
Hey, this world is crazy right now, but don't worry. It's gonna be ups. I've been telling y'all, it's going to be ups and downs.
Facts.
We're in the downs right now.
Facts.
But keep God before anything. Period.
Like that. Listen, strive for perfection. Because if you fall short, you'll still be excellent. Feel me?
Let's go.
Other than that, we'll holler at y'all. See y'all next week.
Yep.
We're out.